You want to know one of the easiest strategies for making money in real estate? It's called wholesaling. And a lot of people do not know how to do it. So I invited a good friend of mine who for the last decade has crushed it, made millions of dollars, none other than Carlos Reyes, to give us the ultimate guide. Brother, how we doing?
I'm ready to roll.
You ready to roll?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
One shot, not a future, but sure, let's go.
Listen, I have transacted thousands of properties. I have flipped thousands of properties. But you know what? I've almost done nothing in the game of wholesaling. And truth be told, it is one of the easiest ways of getting in the game of real estate. And brother, you've not helped but just a few people, but a ton of people.
Yeah, over the last decade, I've been able to help thousands of people become financially free through the game of real estate wholesaling. I've been holding down boot camps and events. People like Pace Morby, Ryan Pineda, Tiffany High, Keith Everett, Donovan Ruffin. A lot of amazing people have come through our boot camps and events, and it's been beautiful.
And today I got Carlos Reyes here, and it's your turn. Listen, there are plenty of big names out there that are playing the wholesaling game, and I know all of them. There's a reason why I want to do this with Carlos, because I believe that he takes care of people better than anyone else. And I think we should kick off today with just an explanation of what really is wholesaling. Wholesale real estate refers to a short-term business strategy that investors can use to make quick and steady income in the real estate market. The wholesaler enters into a purchase contract for a home from a seller for a small earnest money deposit. The contract spells out the amount the wholesaler will sell the property for and the required time period for the sale. What else would you add to this whole game of wholesaling the way you see it as an expert?
Very importantly, you don't need credit, you don't need money, and you don't need a real estate license. So everybody qualifies. That's so beautiful.
All right, check it out. Let's start with an example just to make sure you can wrap your mind around this, because we got a house here that is worth $300,000. This is 3 stacks of $100,000. So here's the 300 grand. This is what the property is worth if it were in great condition. But it's not. In fact, it's a distressed property and the seller is trying to get rid of it, but they don't have the money to fix it up. So you know what? You come along as a wholesaler and you negotiate to say, hey, this property needs a lot of work. I only want to pay $180,000 for this property. And they say, you know what? Take this off my hands. You know, so-and-so used to live here, died. I inherited it. We're moving. Something happened in my life. And you know what? This is an easy solution because I don't want to come up with $50,000 or $70,000 to fix it up. I don't want to go to Home Depot. I don't want to deal with contractors. Here. So you get it under contract for $180,000, even though its after repair value is $300,000. So now you have a choice. And the choice is, shoot, I could buy it at a great price because I've negotiated it, and I could put up the money and I could fix it up and I could make the money, or I could just make that somebody else's problem and just as easily make it go away. So you go out there, you find an investor that says, hey, I will take this property off your hands for $200,000. I'll put the money into it to fix it up and sell it for $300,000, and I'll make the rest of the $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 that's available. Well, since you got it under contract for $180,000 and they're going to pick up the house with all of its problems for $200,000, guess what happens when they close on it? There's some money in the middle. Between $180,000 and $200,000, there's 20 grand. That 20 grand is yours for having found a really good deal and letting someone else take it, fix it up, and make the other $50,000. Is that about right, Carlos, how it works?
It's that simple. Not only have we done over 1,000 of these transactions, but we've helped people all across the country do thousands and thousands of these transactions. And guess what? You only need to follow these 7 simple steps.
That's right, Carlos. There are 7 steps of how you conduct the ultimate wholesaling deal. And it starts with number 1. It starts with a little bit of research. That's the first of the 7 steps. Learn about the wholesaling laws in your jurisdiction. Wholesaling real estate is legal in all 50 states, but there are specific laws and regulations that you must follow to ensure you're in full compliance. In addition, look into the locales and neighborhoods where you want to buy property. Carlos, where are you actually focusing on real estate based on all your experience?
Arizona, Nevada, Texas, North Carolina, Florida, Tennessee, and Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, so not all 50 states, but kind of a lot of them.
Absolutely.
So are there certain reasons why you're in those states? Is it profitability based, or does it have to do more with jurisdiction?
In 2017, we were marketing to over 48 states, and guess what? We finally dialed in that these are the specific markets that work for us. Now, just because they work for us doesn't mean that it works for somebody else. There are people, I have students, I have mentees that are operating in New York, New Jersey, Seattle, Tacoma, some of the Dakotas. I mean, again, in places where I wouldn't even dare to enter. There is no bad market as long as there's somebody buying properties in that market.
And here's the cool part. We talked about a deal where you might make $20,000, but Carlos has made almost $800,000 on a single deal. So you might make 50 grand, you might make 100 grand, but you ain't gonna make squat unless you can find a distressed property. Look for properties listed below market value and owners who are motivated to sell. Owners of homes that are being foreclosed on or maybe have liens, they may be open to selling for less than what the house is worth. Also, the house might have some problems. It might need some fix-up, it might need some repair, and they don't have the money for that. In other words, this is a person with a home that has a problem that they need solved. And I'm kind of curious, Carlos, like, you're doing a lot of deals. There's got to be some marketing channels that you're using for finding some of your best deals out there. What are you doing to find these good deals?
You know, we've tried every marketing channel and all of them work, right? Right now we have dialed in specifically 2 marketing channels. One of them is Google AdWords, which is pay-per-click, and the second one is cold calling. These 2 marketing channels right now are very, very fruitful for our company. This is the way that we are proactively getting in touch of these homeowners who have distressed properties or are just in a bind and need to sell right now.
Carlos is the man. If you want to learn how to do those strategies, you should definitely look him up, follow him on social media, or click the link below, because he's going to walk you step by step how you find these really good deals. All right, the third step, you've got to do the math and you've got to do diligence. Find out the property's fair market value. Look at comparable properties in the area, their occupancy rates and cash-on-cash returns, then determine what any required repairs will cost. Calculate a maximum allowable offer, an MAO, the highest price that you can offer for the distressed property, and still make a profit. Can you break it down a little bit what this looks like when your team professionally does this for you and your students?
Yeah. Underwriting the deal, in my opinion, are gonna be your most important numbers because you can be off on the rehab potential, right? Or whatever the projected rehab cost is. Let's just say that you're gonna rehab a house and it's gonna cost you $20,000. Well, if you're off 20%, or let's just say you're off 10%, that's only $2,000 that you're off. But if you are off on your underwriting, your after repair value by 10% and the property's worth $350,000, now you're off $35,000. So underwriting a property, in my opinion, is the most important factor when it comes to running these numbers.
All right, check it out. This is the 4th step, and I'm not gonna lie, Carlos, this is the one where I'm really excited to get your insights because it's time to contact the seller. Like, you have a property, you've done the research, you've done the due diligence, and you're ready to make that offer. There's some kind of phone conversation or in-person conversation that's gonna go down. There's no need to explain your role as a real estate wholesaler and how working together may be an ideal way to sell their property. Simply let them know that you're a real estate solutions company. Wholesale real estate transactions are perfectly legitimate as long as state laws are followed and there's nothing to hide. And here's what I want to know. When you get on the phone, what do you say so that you can basically try to start negotiating a price so that you can then sell that property to someone else for a higher price?
You're looking to serve them. You're looking to make a friend. You're looking to help them resolve a situation that they're going through presently. Whether it's a divorce, whether it's a foreclosure, whether it's a job relocation, you have to be there and you have to help. You have to serve. And more importantly, they have to trust you. They have to like you. And if they do that, they'll do business with you.
So you've had a conversation with the seller and like, all right, let's do business. Help solve my problem. The 5th step, you need to obtain a property contract. Present your offer and get the property under contract. Be sure your contract includes the right to assign the contract to another party. Also, include in your contract a contingency that allows you as the wholesaler to withdraw from the deal if unable to find a buyer before the contract expires. This limits your risk. Carlos, anything else you'd add to this whole contract component?
No, if you are a licensed agent, you do have to state in other terms that you are a licensed agent. That's the one thing that I would add to that.
Check it out. You've got your home under contract, and now it's time for you to find a buyer. Now remember, you've left some meat on the bone, as they like to say. That means that the house is worth more than you're trying to pawn it off to somebody else for, where you can make that middle margin. Once you've found the right property and you have a wholesale real estate contract with the seller in place, you need to market your contract to potential cash buyers. And this is the part that I love, because if it really is a good deal, the money shows up, the people shows up. I've always felt that as long as you get a good enough deal, then it's always gonna work itself out. Use your networking skills both online and offline and social media, and connect with potential investors. You might also contact local realtors and ask about cash purchases made over the recent past. I literally got a text from someone that looked me up and saw that I was buying a lot of properties in Memphis, a lot of buy and holds, and they basically said, hey, I've got a house that I can get you for $210,000 that's worth $290,000. Do you want to talk about it? Now, if you think about that math, it's worth $290, they're gonna give it to me for $210, that's $80,000 below market. It probably has $20 or $30 or $40,000 worth of repair. That person got it under contract for less than $210,000, and they're looking to make a quick buck. And you know what I did? I sent the deal off to underwriting and said, hey, if you guys like the deal, do it, knowing that this dude's gonna get paid. What should I care? He did me a service, or she did me a service, by helping me find a really good deal.
Everybody wins. If you find a good deal, you're not gonna have a tough time finding the right buyer for it. Real estate wholesalers, in my opinion, is the ideal person that you should buy properties from. Why? Because auctions sometimes are overpriced. The MLS sometimes is overpriced, and it's really difficult for a real estate investor, in particular a fix and flipper, to find their own deal. They're investors. They want to invest money and they want to return. They don't want to do all this work. That's why the wholesalers are actually having such success in this country, because they're willing to do the work.
Carlos, I could be wrong, but I'm guessing this is your favorite part of the deal. This is where you get to assign the contract to the buyer. It means that when the deal closes, bottom line is you're gonna get paid. How does it feel when you've found the deal, you got it under contract from the seller, then you marketed it, you found a buyer for it, and you get to that closing table, and then all of a sudden money is being wired to your bank account? What's that like?
It's life-changing. I mean, after I did my first deal back in 2013, my entire life changed. I'm like, man, how can I do this 1,000 more times? And my life has not been the same.
Can I ask you, what did you make on your first deal?
$5,000.
And that $5,000 compared to what you were making, how meaningful was that?
Well, back then I used to have to work an entire month to try to make $5,000.
I think that's true for a lot of people. The average person is making right around $60,000, $50,000 a year. So $5,000 in a single transaction that probably took hours instead of 40 hours a week for 4 weeks in a row, that had to be a really eye-opening moment for you.
You want to hear something funny?
Tell me.
Okay. To this day, that is the least amount of money that I ever made on a real estate wholesale deal. Again, my record deal, December 2021, there's a picture on my Instagram somewhere. I made $783,000 virtually in Berkeley, California. I'm in Arizona. This deal's in California, $783K. Again, life-changing money.
Can I ask you, on that deal that made you $5,000 and the one later that made you $780 or whatever $1,000, how much time did they take compared to each other?
The same exact time. You know, again, we found the deal, we found the buyer, we put it into escrow with the title company, right? Assigned the deal, they closed it, we got paid.
So if you do enough deals, you might make $20,000 on one deal, $40,000 on another. And if you do enough deals, you can have a six-figure payday.
Absolutely.
By the way, if you want your six-figure payday, or heck, maybe fine with even just $5,000 on your first deal, or maybe that minimum $20,000 as Carlos has as his rule of thumb when he's doing wholesaling deals, there's a way for you to get plugged into Carlos, myself, because guess what? We can show you exactly how to cause that and make that happen. If you want access to our deal finding system, if you want access to all of our other systems for how we can show you how to do this, if you want all the contracts from us, click the link below and learn about Property. It's a company that we've organized and put together based on 30 years in the game of real estate investing, showing you wholesaling, also fix and flipping, and buy and holding, because this dude is doing wholesaling bigger than anyone else out there in the market. No one, I got zero competition in the buy and hold game. He's crushed it in flipping like me. You put all three of those together, and man, now you have the ultimate game in all of real estate. Click the link below, get some.
So Kris, thank you so much for allowing me to share my area of expertise. Why don't we talk about your area of expertise, which is buy and hold? What's going on with that?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've done 6,500 single family deals in the buy and hold game, and I've created the ultimate guide to single family real estate. And if you want that, click right here, watch this video, let me give it to you.